Hello, Math 133 students. I've received a request for help with this problem, which is 11.3.17 in your homework. All right, so I'm going to click on View an Example, which is going to work very similarly. What changes in this problem, you're actually comparing the lengths of tornadoes, but what's going to change is the states. So they're going to randomly select two different states for you to look at. Now, in the examples case, we're going to look at Mississippi versus Oklahoma. Now they have this data set available to you and it's in StatCrunch. So if you click on the link, there it is in StatCrunch. Now it's very important that you're logged into StatCrunch somewhere, not here because you can't log in, I don't think here. Or maybe you can, I don't know. But I can tell that I'm logged in because it says AJ Tucky in the top right corner. If you see over there, you can tell that you're logged into StatCrunch. If you're not, then go open a browser window somewhere and get into statcrunch.com and log in so that your name is in the top right corner, and then you know that you're ready to go in StatCrunch. Okay, so that could be an issue if you were, say, working on this problem and it wasn't letting you do anything. Because the thing about StatCrunch is that it won't let you actually do anything. Like you can look at the data set, but you can't do anything unless you're logged in. Okay. So let me try to bring up both of these simultaneously so we can see. Now, what we're going to be doing is running a hypothesis test. So it says, is there a difference in the length of tornadoes, in my case, between Mississippi versus Oklahoma? The data in column length represents the length of the tornado, right? We already went over this. Or maybe we didn't because I've made this video a couple times and my computer ate it. So it's length in miles. So test whether the length of tornadoes that occurs in Mississippi is different from the length of tornadoes that occur in Oklahoma. All right, treat them as random samples. Lovely. All right, now it's having us do something a little different in StatCrunch than we've ever done before. So you got to read these instructions carefully. So we're going to let Mississippi be sample 1 and Oklahoma be sample 2. So we select stat, highlight T-stats, highlight to sample, and select with data. So when we get out to with data, we'll click. Now keep in mind, your states will be different. That's what's going to change, is that everybody's going to have different states. Now you select length. So values are in length. And you do that for both of them. Sample 1, sample 2, values are length right there. But for where, you're going to type state equals MS for Mississippi. And down here for where, you're going to type state equals OK. Now I'm doing those for Mississippi and Oklahoma. You type whatever the 2-letter code is for your state. Like Louisiana is LA, for example. Texas is TX, and so on. So you type whatever the codes are that they tell you to type for your states, which are the same as the postal codes for those states. Okay, so then it says to do a hypothesis test. The null hypothesis is 0, of course. That's what we're doing in this chapter. And the alternative is a not equal to, because you're just trying to find out if there's a difference. Now, me personally, I always like to have a p-value plot whenever I do a hypothesis test. So I'm going to select that also. And then I'll say compute. And there we have it. So we have a test statistic of 2.63. Oops, sorry, I had to click off of that for a second to kind of move us along in this example here. But you can see that in the example, they say the test statistic is 2.63, and we got that out of StatCrunch. It tells us test statistic is 2.63, p-value, well, that they're rounding it. It's 0.0098, and if you round that to round up to 10, that's fine, right? 0.0098, 0.010, fine, right? 2.63, fine, and there you have it. That p-value is less than alpha, so therefore you're going to reject H naught, right? And so you would fill in whatever it is they want you to fill in the problem, right? Now they want you for step A. So for step A, for me, my p-value was less than alpha, so I'm going to reject H naught. So there does appear to be a difference between Mississippi and Oklahoma in terms of the lengths of their tornadoes, right? Because my p-value is low. All right, so then they say, and again, with the same states, which I don't know if that will continue to be the same states or if that's only the example. So I'm not sure about that. Oop, I clicked off of it too many times. Sorry, hold on. Got to get through 10 parts. So the last part, part B. So part A is running a test. Part B is doing a confidence interval. There we go. Okay, so estimate the difference in the length of tornadoes that occur between, and again, I'm not sure it'll stay the same 2 states it was for me, so I'll just go with it. So I'll close this window and I'll do it again. So stat, tstat, to sample with data. And again, we're doing the difference in lengths. So it wants length, which is kind of there. It's not the one at the end. That's a different one. We want this one that's kind of right before width. So that's length. And then now we're going to do a confidence interval. And of course, they could also change what confidence level you want. In my case, they want a 95%, so 0.95. And there we have it. And we kind of don't need anything else. I mean, if you want to do a confidence interval plot or show the critical value, you can, but they're not really necessary. The only thing we need is the lower and the upper, and we will have that just by clicking confidence interval and putting in the correct confidence level. And so then we say compute. And there we have our lower limit and our upper limit. Oh, except mine don't match them. Oh, wait, I forgot. I forgot to type the most important thing. State equals MS and state equals OK. There we go. I forgot to do that. Sorry, my fault. So length, I knew I was in trouble because it had 0 in the center. I knew I'd done it wrong. So if you do that wrong, that's what you did. So go back here, type state equals MS, state equals OK. Or again, sorry, I bumped my microphone accidentally. Type whatever state you have. Right, you have. So if you have, Oklahoma, great, it's okay. If you have Michigan, it's MI, and so on. Okay, so type your states. Don't forget to do that step. If you forget, it'll be a disaster. And then click compute. There we go. 0.565, just like they've got, and 4.032, just like they have. So our lower and our upper match what they are saying it should. And then we are, 95% confident that the difference between the lengths of tornadoes in Mississippi and Oklahoma is between those two values. All right, lovely. All right, I hope that helps. By the way, that does mean that there's a significant difference between them, which matches our test, right? Because 0 is not in that interval. I mean, they didn't ask, but that's true, right? Just as a little side note.